Hello students, today we will see Dynamic System Development Model DSDM. The DSDM is an agile software development approach that provides a framework for building and maintaining system which meet tight time constraint through the use of incremental prototyping in a controlled project environment. The RAD model, that means Rapid Application Development Approach to software delivery, evolved in a fairly unstructured manner. This dynamic system development technique is an associate degree agile code development approach that provides a framework for building and maintaining the system. This DSDM was developed to fill in some of the gaps in the RAD method by providing a framework which takes into account the entire development cycle. The DSDM specifically calls out fitness for business purpose as the primary criteria for delivery and acceptance of the system, focusing on useful of 80% of the system and can be deployed in 20% of the time. The main features of the DSDM methods are as follows. First is user involvement. Second, iterative and incremental development. Third is increased delivery frequently. Fourth is integrated test at each phase. And fifth is acceptance of delivered products depends on fulfilling requirements. The requirements are planned and delivered in short, fixed length, time box, and also referred to as iteration and requirement for DSDM projects are prioritized using Moscow rules, which are as started follow. M stands for must have requirement, S stands for should have if at all possible, C stands for could have but not critical, and W stands for would not have this time but potentially later. All critical work must be completed in DSDM project. It is also important that not every requirement in a project or time box is considered critical. Within each time box, less critical items are included so that if necessary, they can be removed to keep from impacting higher priority requirements on the schedule. The DSDM project framework is independent of and can be implemented in conjunction with other iterative methodologies such as extreme programming XP and rational unified processes RUP. Then model of DSDM software development model. Here it having some activities: feasibility, implementations, design and building iteration, and functions model iterations. Then these are starts from feasibility study, then goes to the functional model iteration, then design and build iterations, and finally for implementation. Then first step is feasibility study. It establishes the basis business requirement and constraint associated with the applications to be built and then assess whether the applications is viable candidate for the DSDM processes. It is about whether the proposed methods can be applied or not, and through research is carried out to find out the existing problems. Then business study. What is meant by business study? It establishes the functional and information requirements that will allow the applications to provide business values. It also defines the basic application architectures and identifies the maintainability requirement for the applications. It is about acquiring a clear understanding of business flow and how the processes are related to each others. Then second is feasibility functional model iterations. Second activities or a phase. Functional model iteration produces a set of incremental prototype that demonstrate functionality for the customer. It works on refining high-level business information requirements and functions of the system identified during the business study of methodology. In this phase, risk has to be identified and recognize a plan on how to deal with risk for future development. The outcome of function model iteration is the standard analysis model of the software. Then third phase is system design and build. In this phase, revisit prototypes built during functional model iteration to ensure that each has been engineered in manner that will be enable it to provide operational business value for end users. And in this page the actual system is built based on non-functional requirements, and it carried out in the previous page and built in the system is implemented in the next page once the testing is done. Then last page is implementations. This is the final phase in methodology where the built-in system is moved into the production environment from the development environment, and this implementation phase places the latest software increment and operationalize prototype into the operational environment. Then advantages of DSDM. DSDM provides a technique independent processes and it is flexible in terms of requirement evaluation. Second is DSDM incorporate stakeholders into the development process and an emphasis as DSDM on testing is so strong, so that at least one tester is expected to be on the project team, and which improves the software quality and the performance. Then second is disadvantages of DSDM. DSDM focus on RAD, which can lead to decrease in code robustness. It requires significant user involvement, and DSDM requires a skilled development team in both the business and technical areas. These are the advantages and disadvantages of dynamic system development model. The next topic is agile unified processes, that is AUP. Agile unified processes AUP is a simplified version of rational unified processes, that means RUP, developed by Scott Ambler, and it describes a simple, easy to understand approach to developing business applications software using agile technique and concept, it still remaining true on the RUP, that is rational unified processes. The AUP applies agile techniques including test driven development TDD, agile modeling AM, and agile change management and database refactoring to improve the productivity. And the AU adapt a serial in the large and iterative in the small philosophy for the building computer based systems by adopting the classic UP phases activities like inception, elaboration, constructions, and transitions. We already have seen these pages in unified processes. AUP provides a serial overlays, that is linear sequencing in software engineering activities that enables a team to visualize the overall process flow for a software projects. This each AUP iteration address the following activities. There are 7 activities. First activities is modeling, understand the business of organization and the problem domain being addressed by project, and identify a viable solution to address the problem domain. Second phase is implementation, transform models into executable codes and perform a basic level of testing in a particular unit testing. Third is testing, perform an objective evaluation to ensure quality. This includes finding defects, verifying that the system works are designed, and validating that the requirements are met. Fourth is deployment, plan for delivery of the system and to execute the plan to make the system available to end users. Then fifth activity is configuration management, manage access to project artifacts. This includes not only tracking artifacts version over the time but also controlling and managing changing to them. Sixth is project management, direct the activities that take place within the projects, and this includes managing risk, directing peoples, assigning tasks, tracking progress, etc., and coordinating with peoples and system outside the scope of projects to be sure that it is delivered on the time and within budgets. And last activity is environment, support the rest of efforts by ensuring that the proper processes, guidance, that is standard and guidelines, and tools like hardware, software, etc., are available for team as needed. These are the 7 activities included in agile unified process.